Developers are proposing a 45-story tower almost next door to the historic Bevis Marks Synagogue.
Bevis Marks Synagogue was opened in 1701. It is older than St. Paul's Cathedral that was only opened about a decade later. It was built by the first Jews to settle in England during what we call the resettlement. There had been a community here in medieval times that was expelled. The first Jews that came here in the 1600s were escaping the Inquisition. This synagogue has been open without interruption for over 300 years. We believe it's the only synagogue in the world today to have maintained that continuity. This place has immense significance for world Jewry. This should be a matter of pride for the city of London. It's the only non-Christian house of worship in the entire city, and it's been our home for centuries.
This is what it would look like and how it would dwarf one of the most important historic buildings in London. It would block the sky view that is fundamental to our worship, whilst also putting us in almost perpetual shade.
Fundamentally, this tower is in the wrong location. It immediately falls behind the southern backdrop of the synagogue. According to Jewish tradition, when you construct a synagogue, it is meant to have windows that have views of the sky. And that's so that we always feel that connection to nature, but ultimately also that uplift of looking towards heaven. There are descendants of families who worship in this synagogue whose ancestors were here when it was opened in 1701. And we continue to have people from not only throughout the city and London, throughout the world who come here to experience the worship, the unique customs and traditions that are maintained most likely only in this synagogue as opposed to any place else in the world.
This is the scene now, and this is how it would be if the tower was built.
What's so special about this place is the fact that one can step in here and still experience it almost entirely as it would have been in 1701. And preserving that character is at the heart of what it means to protect historic buildings. What's significant to understand about Bevis Marks is that it is a 24/7 synagogue, unlike most other synagogues, because not only do we have our regular worship that happens here every Jewish Sabbath and during the week, we're also building a heritage center. You add on top of that the weddings that happen here regularly, the bar mitzvahs. We recently had the Archbishop of Canterbury here for a conversation.
31 Berry Street has to be stopped, just as its predecessor was in 2022, when there was a massive outcry. Nothing makes the building more acceptable now than its predecessor was then. Indeed, the area is now a conservation area, making it even more unacceptable.
If you're watching this video, it means you care about Bevis Marks Synagogue. And so I ask you to please formally object to this proposal through the City of London's portal, and through that, help ensure that Bevis Marks Synagogue will continue to survive.
Say no to this thief of our sky. Please register your objection now by following this link.